Hello, I'm Daniel, and this is my wife, Kimberly Graham.
And we're your money mastery coaches. We work with high earning power couples to guide them to financial harmony in their financial communication.
Utilizing the Affluent Synergy Framework, even if you meticulously budget every expense and talk money to your partner.
Find out more at theaffluentmarriage.com. We can't wait to help you live in love
and walk in wealth. Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Hello,
welcome to our first, I believe, Better Together Tuesday of 2024.
Yeah, we've had
a lot going on. We've moved out of our old place. We sold it, made a profit off of that place, and now we are in the rental game. We're not renting out, but we are renters.
We changed things up, y'all.
Interest rates are crazy.
I apologize I just apologize in advance because some people are going to say, what happened to the yellow wall? There will be a new backdrop forthcoming. Okay,
I know. Let's just hold.
We'll just hold that in the back. I know people are going to miss the yellow wall. We will find a way to bring it back. But I'm excited for it. We will not.
We have moved on from the yellow wall.
It's a thing of the past. Yellow
just,
wall.
Core memory. Enjoy that. It's gone, guys.
Okay, well, we'll find a new backdrop either way.
So Better Together Tuesday, our mission is so simple, guys. We want you to take control of your shared finances and strengthen your relationship by aligning your goals through strategic, it's been a while since I've said this, strategic communication. And we believe that we have found yet another couple. They are out there, guys.
They are out there.
You guys are over here thinking, man, like, how do people do this? Kim and Dan, they're an anomaly. Deanna and Mark, anomaly. All these people, no. They are out there, strength in numbers. We have tons of couples out there, and we're bringing them on so that you guys can see that this is the norm. This is what relationships should be like. This is how you tackle finances together. So we are bringing Adrian and Bria onto the stage.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Not much. How's it going?
Man, it's going good. It's going good. It's dark outside over here, so our kids are upstairs. Hopefully they don't come down here and interrupt.
But I will say it's been a nice difference because I do you guys have an office in your home, in your space?
Yes.
It's a luxury, man. It's a luxury. So we had a condo and it was just open space. It was open concept. So my office was like in the living room / in the kitchen. So if the girls were in their
bathroom
room,
was only like 3 feet away. So,
that's true.
Ease of access.
But like the girls would come out if they were like, "Mom, she's fighting with me," and then they would go to the bathroom and it was right behind the toilet. So now that we're on different levels, it's quite nice. It's quite nice to have that separation.
Except I hear their footsteps.
There's levels to this. That's what you're saying?
Oh, there's levels to this house.
To this one. But see, now I hear their footsteps and they're heavy footed. And I'm like, man, like, is this what they sounded like before? Like, I felt bad.
Yeah.
People below us.
We were on the ground level, so we didn't know. And it was actually a good thing. We probably would have left a lot earlier.
Always good.
Yes, but I'm so excited that you guys are here, and thank you to Kirsten and Mike who like introduced us, because oh my goodness, I love when like good strong couples know other good strong couples, and we can all just like rally together and be like, yes, good strong marriages exist. Yes. So tell us about yourselves. We are going to ask you a couple of questions. So I want you guys to just tell us about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Where you want to start?
Who are you? What do you do?
Who are we?
Well, obviously I'm Adrian and
I'm Bria.
So we've been married for, I guess this will be our 7th year coming up.
7, yeah.
She had to think about it, so you saw that, right?
Yeah.
You saw that
I know.
You guys are getting up there in numbers now. Yeah. You got to 7. It's like, woo. How long is it?
So met in college. Long story short, my freshman year, and she was a sophomore when I came in, and been together ever since. And we're not saying this has been a crystal clear road, but we're here. We've made it through the storm, and which obviously we'll talk about some today. We've done some huge financial strides for our home, and for me, growing up in the country in a family where no one really is familiar with what it means to have financial freedom or to even understand finances at all.
Yeah.
It was always been a huge goal of mine, and to meet someone who kind of grew up in a completely different world than I did. she opened my eyes to a lot of different things. Just, I mean, from the moment we met. So I feel like she's a huge driving force behind everything that we're going to talk about today. So,
Oh,
my God.
I love
my
that.
God.
I love that.
Oh, we
Bria's
started
gonna
already.
cry. Bria's gonna cry. Hold
No,
up.
no,
sorry, tears.
but wait though. He just said we met in college. I want to know.
No, we want to know what
How
was
did
it?
you
What was that
meet?
moment? Like, where was
Oh,
the
Lord.
first time? Like,
We
was it
want the
like across the
story.
commons? Was it in the cafeteria? Like, were you guys in the
Well,
same?
I'll say this part. We met. Technically, he doesn't remember when we met. So like,
Tell the
we were
truth.
in like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, like small,
Mm-hmm.
and in like the common area. And he was talking to my friend the whole time, and I was literally standing right beside her. And to this day, he does not remember me
Of course
standing.
he does. Of course he doesn't. Why would he admit to such things? Why would he admit to
Like,
that?
I mean, to this day, if you ask me, she was not in the
He's
room.
like, you weren't there. I'm like, I was literally right
Like, she was literally
there.
sitting right on the bed. Like,
Oh man.
I'm just saying she was eyeing you down.
yeah,
I wasn't though. I just remember the conversation. Okay, but then we met like officially at a party.
yeah. So then we
Okay.
met at the party, and this is when I actually did notice her. So
you
I was
go.
with one of my boys, and I was like, "All right, you take the tall one, I'll take the short one." Obviously, she was the short one, so we
Short
started.
girls
pretty
unite.
much-
Yes.
So we pretty much danced all night, and to this day, I'll say that's the best that she's ever danced in her life. I don't know where it
Wow.
came from that night, but that night was the best that she's ever danced. And then I tell all my boys this, but matter of fact, I guess honestly I tell everybody this because I was with my now frat brother. We're leaving the party and we're sitting in the back of this car, and I turn around. Some people think it's complete BS, but I swear this is true. So I turn around and I look and I see her standing in the middle of the road, like right up under the street light, and it's like something from a movie. Like she's standing in the street.
Stop.
And yeah, and like the street light is just like beaming down on her. So funny enough, we actually just got matching tattoos. And
Of that moment.
Yeah, pretty much of that moment. I felt like
Dude.
I sketch out that exact scene. I was like, all right, this is what we want. So
Wow.
I love that so much.
That's incredible. Like a little movie moment.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
gosh.
a movie moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. I feel like every couple we've had on here has had some type of like one has to do with dancing. Dancing has been a common thread.
Look at
There's
that.
also some serious
Not always
shade.
good dancing.
No,
but dancing.
but dancing.
Nonetheless.
Some serious shade has happened where someone is like, "Oh, I saw you, but I wasn't really paying attention."
Yeah,
that type of thing. There's always some shade.
Yeah, cursing it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and not only that, I think it was Natasha and Isaac was that way too, where she was like, he was all right.
Yeah,
and
there's
then,
a lot of gyrating with that one.
a lot of gyrating with
From
Natasha and
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah.
Isaac was trying to
And-
peacock. For sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I love that so much. And I love that you had that cinematic moment that you were like, that's her. That's it. That's wifey right there.
Here we go.
Weird.
We're here. There you go. So I'm so excited to talk more about because we already know, right? Because we've already talked about this. So you get married after college.
Yeah, we got married. So he proposed the day of his graduation. We got married 13 days later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was
Was
your
it-
engagement?
13 days.
13 days.
Wait. Oh,
Did you not
no. Like I was like,
Did
I'm
you
trying to
just
calculate. Listen, my brain
reiterate
is like,
that?
you know how sometimes your computer has a little spiral wheel, like it's
Okay,
refreshing. I'm like,
okay.
hold up. There's
Did
no
you-
shot.
Did you not just hear
There's
that?
no shot that they planned a wedding in 13 days.
No, we didn't plan a wedding in 13 days.
Okay.
So we were secretly married for 9 months. And then we had a wedding.
No, who? Whoa, wait, hold on. Wait, who knew?
Yeah. How secret was this?
Just
Our parents?
Yeah, our parents and
Grandparents, siblings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't even tell like any of our friends. Like at the wedding, I got on the mic and was like, "Well, we've been married for almost a year now," and my frat brothers were pissed.
They're like, what?
"How did you not tell us this?"
Right.
Yeah. So
That's-
it's
But you didn't have like a band on or anything? Like, how did they?
Yeah, he didn't wear a band. I did.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
yeah, so she just wore her, I guess, typical
Engagement,
engagement ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I guess like you
Okay,
could get
okay,
away
okay,
with
okay.
that, right? Like you could be
Yeah.
like, yep, there's my I'm
Yeah, I was
engaged.
like, man, I don't know
Nobody
if I
has
could
to
keep that
know.
a secret for that long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could keep it a secret, but I'm kind of digging that like kind of secret of like we're gonna get married and just not tell it because people make a huge deal about the wedding. And I like weddings. I like a good party. But like to be married, that's a whole different thing that we don't really talk about. And so I hear some people who are like, oh, I got married first and like in secret, and then I had the wedding ceremony later, and they were able to like be present in the moment because there wasn't all this extra like
I wish I had that. That's
it made a big difference. Like we were like, we're already married. Like this is just like, you know, honestly for our friends, we're gonna have a good time. No one's gonna stress us out.
Right.
It was like the best. It was so good.
Yeah. Like I think that if not that
we would have ate more food.
We would have, yes.
Oh
my gosh.
I can agree with that. Yeah. I think we were just like, so even though we were still very much in the moment, I feel like we we're still on the go a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
We didn't eat at all. We were so like we were 21 when we got married. And we were together for like 9 years prior. And so we were just like so excited to get married. And, you know, all of our friends are relatively around the same age. And we were one of the first to get married. So everyone's like, what happens? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of calamity going on.
21-year-olds are annoying.
And, and so like, I was like so worried about like saying hi to all the guests that I didn't eat my food and I barely ate the cake. And I mean, we're sitting in the drive-thru at McDonald's going to get like food because
after the wedding, we went to McDonald's. Yeah.
I spent all that money on that food and I didn't even get to eat it. Like I was so mad. So I like that. I like that move. I think if you're listening to this and you are currently engaged, I think that's a good move.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do
why
it.
not?
Get married in secret.
So much easier.
Wait 3 months and then have the party. I think that's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
So lots of that. Secretive. Okay. So you got married in secret. That was a fun bombshell. And then and then something crazy happens, right? You get into real life. So why don't you guys talk us through your big moment? I think I feel like that's a real gelling moment for any married couple.
They've had the movie scene moment. They've had like the secret wedding. There's a lot of big
so
moments.
Many moments.
Here.
We're literally going through a movie right now. So like this is it. Okay, go.
So I guess like I'll start it with we were both working. I was in the social work field. He's in the sales field still. And then like I wasn't making enough money. So we had this conversation of like, okay, like maybe I'll go back to school. So I went back to get my MBA. But when that happened, I stopped working. So now we become a one income household.
His face.
And so
yes,
that was like January of 2018, I want to say. And then May of 2018, while I'm not working, I'm like, hey, how about we stop saving and we start paying off debt? Because why would you save when you have debt? Like that was like one night, just random. And I think that night he paid off his car.
Yeah, and honestly, it was something that I would say I had already been thinking about, but kind of when she had a conversation, when she brought it up to me, I was like, you know what, why not?
Yeah.
So, like she just said, why save whenever you have debt? So that's one thing that I was kind of like thinking about in the back of my mind. But yeah, she was, like I said, kind of that driving factor behind it.
Yeah. So yeah, we ended up paying off cars, student loans, and then credit cards throughout an 18-month period, which essentially was $96,000 in 18 months. So it was, I think now that we look back at it, it was a strain in our relationship. Because, I mean, one income, like he's doing all this stuff. Like I'm at school or I'm studying all day. And like, it was a sacrifice, but definitely worth it now, I'd say.
Yeah. Now I hear some of my boys talk about what Biden's going to do about the student loan.
Oh yeah, we're like,
well, have fun with that.
Right.
Yeah,
I think those are so like my favorite conversations when we get calls, you know, those scam calls where it's like, you have a student loan debt. And I'm like,
no, we don't.
I know.
Please. No, we don't. That's some intention. That takes some serious intention, right? It's one thing to be like, why save when we can pay off debt? And you're like, all right, I'll pay off a car. How many people just start with just that one thing and they're like, I paid off a car, and then they stop? So what kept you going that you were like, oh, there's a student loan? All right, let's bang that out. Let's do that. Because that's more than just one lump sum of payment. That's continuous work.
Yeah, I feel like there was like you cut me off if I'm wrong, but I feel like we had like a certain amount that we were paying each month, but we started with 2 methods. So we did the snowball method first, and then when we got to my student loans, we did the avalanche method. So snowball, I think we probably started with the credit cards after he paid off his car, and the smallest to the largest balance. And then with the avalanche, we went to tackle the student loans. I know you guys already know this, but like tackling the highest interest rate first and then kind of going through there. So that was just our mentality. I know we had a set number. I can't remember what that is now. But that's how we just like stayed to it.
Yeah. And to that point, I would say that we also read Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover.
Yes.
And I can't remember if we started reading that book. I think that's kind of what kicked everything off for us.
Yeah,
I think we read the book
already.
first.
Yeah,
because I read the book first. Someone told me to read the book. And then that's when we started talking about it a little bit. And then that's when everything kind of kicked in. Yeah. And that's where we got those methods and all that good stuff from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to put the timeline in order here. So did the book come first, or did the idea, like, did Bria's idea of like, you know what, let's just pay off the debt? Like what happened first? Like what was the inspiration to pay off the debt? Yeah. Was it the book, or was it, I don't like, what was the inspiration?
I want to say it was the book first, and that started our conversations.
Okay.
And then it was the, hey, like, you know, you're learning all this stuff. Let's put it into practice. Like, why not?
Yeah, because at that time, even I guess before we were really thinking about being debt free, we were thinking about how we can make our money work for us, or what we can do with our money besides just having it sit in the savings. And then that's when someone introduced that book to me. And then that's, like Bria just said, that's when those conversations started. And then, I mean, literally just like a bomb went off in our head, and we were just like, okay, so this is what we need to do. And then we just started kind of just knocking out everything.
Yeah.
And you guys both read that book together?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what we talked about this before.
I'm like just getting into reading.
No, you're good. You're good.
She's like, you give me the cliff notes, boo.
Yes, absolutely. So what were the baby steps? How did you go about that?
How many were it? 7?
See, but I'm okay with that though, because like your head was in the game. You were like, I'm ready to do this.
Yes.
I don't you just tell me I'm in school.
Yeah, TLDR.
like you tell me what I gotta do, and I'm right there with you, right?
I'll figure it out.
Sometimes that's the dynamic though. And I what I love is that like you started the conversations. And this is something that we teach our clients too, is that like it doesn't always start with the budget. Like we don't normally like wake up one day. I mean, you guys did wake up one day and go, let's pay off a car, right? But like you don't normally wake up one day and you're just like, I'm gonna pay off all my debt, right? You just it's especially with like us with another person, right? It's something that starts with a conversation. And if you don't have a vehicle to like reference to like have like a little bit of like, what am I thinking of, like structure with the conversation, it can make it really, it can make it like fluffy, like, oh yeah, we should pay off debt. Yeah, we should. And then things kind of like, but when you read the book and you have a guideline, you have someone giving you step by step, you have examples of what people have done and how they've been able to be successful. Now you kind of have like this like proven method that you're like, okay, let's see what happens if we do this. And then when you test it out, you're like, oh, it worked.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if we did? And that, oh my gosh, I love that you have to continue the conversation. What would happen if we did this? Okay. And it's like you're like a little like science experiment on your money, but like it really is. So many people are afraid to just move.
Yeah.
Just move and make a decision.
Right.
So I'm very, very like proud that you guys just kept having the conversation. What do you think has helped you guys in having these conversations and having them be so open? Because you said yourself, Adrian, you didn't have a background where you talked about money. And many of the clients that, we talk to, one part of the spouse, they might not have had that and they don't know how to show up to those conversations. And the other person, I don't know what your background was like, Bria, if you talked a lot about money growing up, but it sometimes feels like it's like yin and yang, and they're like, I don't know how do I do this? So how did you guys, keep the peace?
I think for me, it's always been something that I take what I like experiences wise. I take the experiences that I like and I take something from the experiences that I don't like or that I didn't have. And that kind of shapes what I want to see or want to do. So I'm a very, I guess, visionary person, or I'm a dreamer, I guess you can say, really. And I know what I want for myself and for my family. And I've seen my mom struggle. I've seen my dad struggle. I've seen my grandparents struggle. So I knew that's something that I didn't want. I didn't know how I was going to get away from that, but I knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, just starting those conversations, reading those books, get different ideas from different folks, and, just meeting people in certain circles and trying to just push myself and bringing her along with me, and then her doing the same thing. It's just like just wanting more, really.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I brought Adrian to my parents' home in Ohio, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Black people live like this."
I mean, I had never. Honest to God, truth, I had never seen people who look like me. Living the way that her family did, and then that's one reason that I was kind of inspired to join the fraternity that I'm in now, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and that's because her dad is a Q. And the first time I came around him, I'm seeing all these guys driving nice cars. I mean, having big houses, doing good in the community, and I'm like, man, I don't know what they have, but I want some of it.
Yeah. And he was like so hungry, like he would literally find people and just have a conversation.
That part.
Yeah. And
that
part. That was really neat. So for me, it was, I've seen this, like, I want to make sure that I have this or more. And then I think for him, it was like, okay, like I'm seeing this. How do we get there? What do I need to do? Like, I would say a lot of this was him. Like, what do I need to do to make sure that we get here too?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's insane.
No, that's big. Cause I was going to ask, like, did you guys have any like mentors or stuff like that around, like along the way? And because we were T Harv, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He's like, if you want to fly with the eagles, don't swim with the ducks. Right. So the fact that like you found people who are already doing it well, and you were like, all right, it's not that you just saw them, but you were also like, I want to fly with the eagles. Like I want to do what they're doing. So I need to try to get into their corner, get into the ring with them and say like, what are we doing here? Like, how do we make this happen? Because I want this for me.
I live off the motto, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So if you're around me, I'm going to open my mouth. If I see something I want, you have it, somebody else has it in the room, I'm going to either ask you or ask them how they got that and what I need to do to get there. So
see, that's so important though, because so many people, especially I see a lot in men and you guys can attest or not.
Please,
attest
tell us about men, babe.
Tell us about men. I'm gonna mansplain you. Like it's really hard. Like women, I feel like we are typically the ones who are like, oh, I really want, like this certain lifestyle, and they always attribute it to like something like spa or whatever. But like honestly, what we want is security. I feel like that's a lot of what women want. We want security, and financially, security looks different for everybody. But like for me, I know I can speak for that. I wanted a really good emergency fund so that I could go shopping and not feel like I was running my family to the ground, right? So that was she gets me. She understands. She understands.
Him more than me, actually. So
I'm the splurger.
I like to shop. Yes. So like that was important to me to have that security. But then like I feel like with some of the men that we come in contact with, it is hard for them to open their mouths and ask, how did you do that? There's like a point of pride. And I'm like, don't you have a vision that you want something for your family? Don't you have a vision that you want something, you want to have camaraderie with your wife, where you are able to have a conversation around money and it's not ending up in you going, okay, I don't want to talk to you about this anymore, rolling my eyes. Like, don't you want that? And if you do, then what is up with this pride? What is up with this block? And so kudos to you for like, does your family say anything about like the things that you accomplish? Has it been able to?
Yeah. Has it had a ripple effect in your family, or are you guys still an anomaly in both of your families?
I don't know about a ripple effect. I'm trying to get the waves to scurry out to the rest of the folks in the family, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I encourage you to keep going because that was our story. We were one of the only ones. Like I remember going to dinners with, his family, and they would look at us like we were crazy when we were like, we're going to pay off our student loan debt. And they were like,
oh, honey,
people
all
don't really
right.
do that. You go ahead, honey.
You.
And then when we were like, we paid off 30 grand and and then they were like, excuse me, like we make way more than you. What is going on? And that's when they started, they like got completely debt free and all that stuff. And then our friends were asking us questions like, how you do that? And then we were starting to support and help them. And like our group, our family, or I guess they are our family,
yeah.
They, we are when we sit down and have conversations about like money, investing, budgeting, it's not a taboo subject for us. And it's we're really good about saying, oh, like, hey guys, we want to go on a trip to, like we did Disney a couple years ago, just with our grown-up friends. Kids were not allowed. And we were like, hey y'all, like it's going to cost us much. You guys good? You guys got a budget for that? They're like, yeah, let's go. Right. It changes the dynamic because there is no, oh, well, they can afford that because they're, like there's none of that, So I encourage you to just keep walking your walk and keep sharing your story because it's gonna permeate that soil. It's gonna shift something. It
already has, what I mean? Like that's coming for sure.
Yeah.
That's coming for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So a dream of mine is to be able to employ most of, if not all of my family members some way, somehow. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I love that. So talk us through like your conversations now, if we can get like behind the curtain, so to speak. We tell you, like, do you guys have a routine or a methodology that you guys put in practice now that you're debt free and you're like, okay, like I know we talked about it, like you guys have different philosophies at Dave Ramsey, and that's totally fine. Like we do too. I think it's a really great starter, and then you can come up with. You start to be like, all right, I can stand on my own 2 feet and I can start to pick and choose what I like to create my wealth that I desire. So how does it look now for you guys?
Cash is still king, but credit cards run the world. So
right.
Yeah, Beyonce was wrong. It's not women, it's credit. But
it's credit.
But yes, I mean for us, I would just say just checking in like earlier today, she was like, okay, I just paid off this credit card because I mean, like I said, we still use our credit cards on a daily basis or a monthly basis, whatever you want to call it. But we just pay them off every week or every 2 weeks or something like that. And she was like, yeah, I just paid this credit card off. I was like, from what account? It's like I needed to know so I could have all the funds allocated. So it's just knowing where the money is. And for her, she takes pretty much a back seat when it comes to the finances. So it's me trying to loop her in, and we have like a document to where we share all of the passwords and stuff to the account. So either of us can go in and look at them and apps and all that good stuff. So, I mean, just trying to be transparent with each other all the way across the board when it comes to finances and, just we're both up to speed with everything.
Yeah. And then I think right now our focus is multiple streams of income. So I know like right after we paid off debt, it was like trying to find jobs that met the monetary amount that we needed from a salary, like base income. And then he started to branch out into like influencing, and you can kind of touch on that more.
Yeah. So honestly, I guess it was right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
It was like a best of both worlds for me. I mean, I hate if anyone watching this has lost anyone due to COVID, but a lot of good things did happen during that time period for a lot of people. And I happened to be one of those people. That's when I just happened to step out on a whim and say, hey, I like taking pictures, or I like people taking pictures of me, I guess I should say. So we had a family friend who was just starting to be a photographer, and we ended up syncing up and just started, just taking a bunch of pictures, putting a bunch of outfits on. And Bria actually, like for my birthday that year, had reached out to a few brands that I purchased a lot of stuff from, and was like, hey, he really loves your stuff. I really appreciate it if you guys like shared his post or something like that, and really got me on their radar.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's again a huge driving force behind a lot of this.
Right. I love
But
that.
yeah, from there, kind of just built my portfolio from the content creator standpoint, and been doing it ever since 2020. And we moved away from original photographer, who is, I think, the OG in the game, still my favorite photographer to this day. But we moved, I guess, about an hour and a half away from Raleigh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to learn how to take pictures myself, because I can't keep driving an hour and a half back and forth. So eventually I got good enough now to the point where I can take pictures for folks. And with that, I may charge every now and then, do graduation pictures, just anything, like helping people out with their social media every now and then, and just really just branching out into as many different avenues as I can with my camera and with my social media. And I'm trying to get on YouTube and blow up there with my country boy stuff here. So you can see I have, what side is this? Yeah, this side. Yeah, so I'm trying to get a little streams from pretty much every avenue. So it's just,
I love that.
my mind never stops.
Yeah, so he has like 3 streams by himself, and we've got one together that we're keeping secret for now. That we're investing in something right now. So plan on coming out probably in the next year, 6 months to a year, on what we're doing there.
You guys make sure to keep them secret.
First.
Yeah, we keep a lot of things secret. We kept our debt-free journey secret till we were done. Like,
really? Oh,
like our thing, keeping it to ourselves until we're ready to share. So we've got 3 by himself. We've got 1 together now, and then working on figuring out what I'm going to do next. So
she just doesn't have the time to do it.
Yeah. So I'm in HR, so probably more so consulting on my end as a of income. So
yeah, it's amazing what you can do when your mind is not completely focused on money, debt. You know, when your mind is focused there, it's really hard to dream bigger, and it's really hard to say this is what I want, because then every single time you try to reach, it's like you get whammied back again, and you're like, man, I forgot this was here, and now I have to focus. But when that's gone, you really do have space to be like, what do I want to do? Like,
right, it's like survive or thrive, right? You've got that mindset of just like survival, like I'm just trying to make ends meet. Like it's hard to see anything outside of just like trying to get the bills paid and all that. But after that's done, you can really thrive and dream and be like, man, what else is there out there?
You have that space. That's so cool.
So here's what I'm going to go back to, and we can absolutely talk about the business. I want to go back to the finances real quick, because I think a lot of people probably listening to like, oh, that's me. That's what my relationship looks like. Like he's or she or who, like they're doing the thing, and like I don't necessarily do like the budget and the whatever hit with them, but like I'm a part of it. I just don't do like they take. So it might connect to some people. So Adrian, you primarily like run the budget and put in like the numbers and the transactions and all, and categorize and make sure everything hits every month. That's like your role.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then Bria, because I think some people would like identify with this and be like, all right, this is what it looks like for my relationship. So then Bria, what would be like your role if he's doing all that? Like, how do you make sure you're in sync?
Yeah. So like one thing that I do is like, okay, coffee is my thing. So I think earlier we talked about the latte latte factor. Whenever we chatted prior, Kim. And so like it was like, what am I spending in this relationship? And it was coffee. So like, buying a coffee maker, like that was a big thing for us, and like me committing to making coffee at home. But also like groceries is my thing. So I'm really big on looking in the pantry, seeing what we have, seeing what meats we have, and then making sure that like we stay under like $120 a week whenever we go to the grocery store based off of that. So like really,
now granted, I'm like mainly ahead of the finances, but when it comes to the grocery store stuff, I'll buy whatever. So like she is budget conscious when it comes to groceries. That's out of my realm.
So and then like with that, making sure that we're planning appropriately, like for our meals during the week, so that we're not eating out as much. So whether that's like cooking bulk meals in advance or whatever, just to make sure that we're not eating out, looking at subscriptions that we have, canceling those. So I'm more like, what can I do like in the house and around the house to make sure that like we've got what we need? And then he's looking at the finances like from a bigger picture. Like I don't log into any of our bank accounts.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what do we have? Like I don't know. But yeah.
But see, and that's what I want people to
yeah.
take away, because you know your role, he knows his. Like we don't expect our clients to do the same exact thing. Like I don't expect both my clients to do the budget and put in the numbers and run the calculations and all like that. We just know your strengths, know your roles, and like you guys are working together. You leverage each other's strengths. Like Adrian is like, I'm not trying to be in the grocery store because like for me, if I see a pack of Oreos, I'm gonna buy it. Like it's my weakness. I'm tempted by Oreos, and then they come out with new flavors and stuff, and I'm like, I have to have it. I have to try it. Like so, leveraging your strengths. So Bria is all about like the groceries and manning that. So I think it's good that you guys communicate and you understand. I guess you could say your limitations. Like, this is how much I spend every week in groceries. You know that because you've communicated with Adrian.
Respectful of the boundaries. You know, like you both created the boundaries and you're respectful of the boundaries, and it makes it easier for you to stay in your role. And we like money dates. So like even coming together and not, again, you're not just like you're over there and I'm over there and we don't talk, right? It's not that vibe at all. It's like, okay, no, we know our roles, but when we come together, I'm able to just be like, oh yeah, exchange information with you about what has happened without their feeling I need to hide certain things or anything, you know? Yeah. And I think that is something that's a beautiful like marriage of being able to understand your strengths and leverage them effectively for your finances. There's so much that we can talk about here in reference to how getting in control of your finances permeates so many other areas of your marriage, right? I'm not saying that arguments don't happen, but I will say there might be a lot less because that's not something you're arguing over. Right. And that can be the start of a lot of arguments in marriage. So I would definitely say like you are building a strong, solid marriage by starting off being super focused on, you know what, let's just do this and see if we can really create legacy. And what legacy you guys are creating for your son, my goodness, like my goodness, like it's amazing when you start thinking about how the ripple effect will ripple for your children, like
and their children, right?
Amazing.
Awesome.
I'm frustrated that we're out of time.
I know. I was like, I don't want to
look at the clock and I'm like, I have so many more questions that I could ask. I just want to, darn you, Kirsten.
Kirsten. This is definitely a good find, a diamond.
Yeah, right. So what we always like to do is give you guys an opportunity just to pitch, right?
Yeah, dude,
Tell us where people can find you, what you got going on, except for that secret one. You don't have to tell us that, but
soon.
We'll come back in about a year.
Got you.
But so Bria is rarely on social media, but you guys can follow me at Styles with Ace on pretty much any platform, and on my YouTube you can also look me up by Styles with Ace or Ace Adventures 1911. And on there, you'll see me doing some stuff like taking one of these bad boys down. Mm-hmm. So I'm a man that wears a bunch of different hats, literally and figuratively. So it's that's where you can find a little bit more about me. And
awesome. Oh! Give me your top 3 favorite financial books, because we were talking about like books and stuff before.
Yeah,
I know that's an Adrian question. Bria's like, no.
I'm like, I'm turning around. Like, I think they're back there.
She's like, what? I should have told you guys that beforehand. I just knew you had a lot of books that I hadn't read yet.
Yeah, no worries. So this is one that I know I mentioned to you before, but How Money Works, and it is a really easy read. Like I would give this to someone in high school. It breaks it down pretty easy, nice and simple for you guys. And I mean, it's 100 pages maybe. So really quick read. And again, it's not like one of those books that has super tiny words in every single page.
Like your investment book.
That was great.
What are others?
Latte Factor. I think you said that one, right?
Yeah, Latte Factor. And that goes back to what Bria was saying, just getting you aware of some of those subscriptions or small spending habits that you think are small that are actually large. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, I would probably say for those who are looking to get out of debt, I would definitely say Total Money Makeover. I think, again, that's kind of the root of everything for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a good place to start.
And you would say that's probably like the most influential book that influential book that you've read?
Yeah, that's what started the conversations.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we have ours. We'll put ours in the comments or in the description. We'll go ahead and put ours.
I mean, T. Harv, Secrets of the Millionaire
That's
Mind,
the
Psychology
best
of
one.
Money is a great read. It's all about mindset and how you think about money. I'm really enjoying. I'm just going to put it up. We read this. We're rereading it. Rachel Rodgers. We should all be millionaires.
Oh yeah,
she did.
Phenomenal, phenomenal read. Please read.
I heard you really enjoyed it.
Yes, but Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is literally every quarter I could read that one and be like energized all over again. Such a good movie or good book, not movie. They could make it into a movie.
That's a good thing.
Such a good one. Well, we want to go ahead and remind our listeners and people who are watching to join us on our Facebook group. We're talking about managing money as a high earning, high achieving power couple. There are so many ways to do this, right? We're just talking about 2 different ways that you can accomplish it right here. They paid off $96,000 in 18 months. And, we paid off $76,000 in 28 months. And we had so many different routes and avenues of how we're currently managing our money and how we did it before. But the one thing that is common thread is that we did it together. And that's really what we're trying to get at and make sure that we tell people you are better together. You're better when you're working together, when you are communicating about money together. It is worth it to do it, to figure out how to talk money together. So,
all right. Thank you, Adrian and Bria. Go live in love and walk in wealth. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for having us.